Have you ever been sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing important and felt your cat's eyes on you from across the room? Not staring, not demanding food, just watching, quietly, like you're the only thing in the world worth paying attention to. And maybe you brushed it off. Maybe you thought, that's just what cats do. But what if I told you that in that single silent moment, your cat was telling you something so profound, so deeply wired into their biology, that most people go their entire lives without ever recognizing it? Here's what nobody talks about. Cats don't love the way dogs do. They don't run to the door. They don't wag their tails. They don't perform. And because of that, millions of people look at their cats every single day and completely miss what's actually happening. Your cat is telling you how they feel about you. They've probably been telling you for years, but they're doing it in a language most people were never taught to read. Today we're going to change that. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 silent signs, backed by real science and feline behavior research, that prove your cat is deeply, genuinely bonded to you. Some of these will surprise you. Some of them might make you emotional. And one of them, number 4, is so misunderstood that almost everyone gets it completely wrong. By the end of this video, you will never look at your cat the same way again. If you're the kind of person who actually cares about understanding your cat, not just feeding them, not just living alongside them, but truly understanding them, do yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel, because this is what we do here, every single week. All right, let's start with something you've probably noticed but never thought twice about. Number 1, follows you from room to room, even from a distance. You get up to grab a glass of water, you walk to the kitchen, and about 30 seconds later, there they are, your cat, sitting in the doorway, not asking for anything, not meowing, just present. You move to the bedroom. 5 minutes later, they're on the chair by the window. You go to the bathroom, and somehow, there's a paw sliding under the door before you've even sat down. Sound familiar? A lot of people see this and think their cat is being clingy, or nosy, or just bored. But here's what's actually going on, and it's far more meaningful than any of those explanations. In 2019, a researcher named Kristen Vitale published a groundbreaking study in the journal Current Biology. She tested the bond between cats and their owners using the same method psychologists use to measure attachment in human infants. And what she found stunned a lot of people. 65% of cats form what's called a secure attachment to their owner. That's the same percentage as human babies with their caregivers. Let that sink in. A securely attached cat doesn't need to be in your lap 24 hours a day. They don't need constant physical contact. What they do is something far more subtle. They monitor you. They keep track of where you are. They follow you sometimes closely, sometimes from the other end of the hallway. But they always, always know where you are. It's not obsession. It's not neediness. It's affectionate awareness. Your cat has decided that you are their anchor in the world. And wherever you go, they want to know. I had a friend who told me her cat would sit at the top of the stairs every morning while she made coffee. Never came down, never meowed, just sat there watching. She used to joke that he was judging her. But the truth is, he was doing something much more beautiful. He was keeping her close without needing to hold on. That's the kind of love a cat gives. Quiet, steady, easy to miss if you're not paying attention. And speaking of easy to miss, the next sign happens so fast you might not even realize it's a declaration of trust. Number 2, head bunting. Gentle headbutts. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk working on something, and your cat jumps up, walks across your keyboard, because of course they do, and then presses the side of their head right into your cheek, or your chin, or your hand. It lasts maybe 2 seconds, and then they walk away like nothing happened. That tiny gesture, that little bump of the head, it's one of the most significant things your cat can do. When a cat presses their head or cheek against you, they're not just being cute, they're doing something deeply intentional. Along their forehead, their cheeks, and around their chin, cats have specialized scent glands that release pheromones, chemical signals that are invisible to us but carry enormous meaning in the feline world. When your cat rubs those glands on you, they are literally marking you with their scent. They're creating what behaviorists call a shared scent profile, And here's the thing that makes this so powerful. Cats don't do this with just anyone. They only headbutt beings they consider part of their social group. Think about what that means. In your cat's mind, there is an inner circle, a small, carefully curated group of creatures they consider theirs. And when they press their head against your face, they are saying, "You belong with me. You're part of my world." It's not a greeting. It's an initiation, an act of inclusion. I once watched a rescue cat do this for the first time with his new owner. She'd had him for 3 months and he'd been distant, nervous, sleeping under the bed. One evening she was reading on the couch and he walked up very slowly and bumped his forehead against her hand. She froze. She almost cried because she knew, even without knowing the science, that something had just shifted between them. He'd chosen her. If your cat does this to you even casually, even quickly, don't underestimate it. That headbutt carries more meaning than you realize. But there's another behavior that goes even deeper, one that reaches all the way back to the very first days of your cat's life. Number 3, kneading, making biscuits. You know the one. Your cat climbs into your lap, settles in, and then starts doing that rhythmic pressing motion with their front paws. Push, pull, left, right, over and over like they're working invisible dough. People call it making biscuits. And it's adorable. But what's really happening beneath the surface is one of the most emotionally loaded behaviors in the entire cat world. This movement isn't something your cat learned. It's something they were born knowing. Kittens begin kneading from the moment they start nursing, pressing their tiny paws against their mother's belly to stimulate the flow of milk. It's one of the first physical actions a kitten ever performs in its life, and it's directly connected to warmth, nourishment, safety, and the presence of the one being in the world that meant everything to them. Now here's where it gets interesting. When an adult cat kneads, especially on you, on your lap, on your chest, on the soft blanket you happen to be wrapped in, they are not just being cute. Behaviorists believe that kneading in adult cats is associated with the release of endorphins. It triggers a deep, almost primal sense of comfort. Your cat is, in a very real sense, reliving the emotional experience of being safe with their mother. And they're reliving it with you. Think about that for a moment. Your cat's body is telling them, "This person makes me feel the way my mother made me feel when I was the most vulnerable, most dependent version of myself. This is safety. This is home." A woman I spoke with once told me that her elderly cat, who she'd had for 16 years, would only knead on one specific spot, her left shoulder, right against her neck, every night, without fail. And in those final weeks, when the cat was too weak to jump onto the bed, she would lift her up and place her there. And the kneading would start, slow and gentle. That's not habit. That's a bond so deep, it reaches back to the very beginning of a life. And the next sign? It's the one almost everyone misunderstands. It's number 4. And I promise you, this one is going to change the way you see something your cat might be doing right now. Number 4 shows their belly but doesn't necessarily want you to touch it. Okay, this is the big one, the one that trips up almost every cat owner on the planet. Your cat rolls over, stretches out, and there it is, their belly. Soft, fluffy, completely exposed. And your first instinct? You reach down to rub it, and then claws, teeth, a look of utter betrayal. So what just happened? Did your cat trick you? Were they being mean? Were they setting a trap? No. And understanding why changes everything. Here's the thing most people don't realize. In the wild, a cat's belly is the most vulnerable part of their body. It's where all the vital organs are. No protection, no rib cage, just soft tissue. For a wild cat, exposing their belly near a predator would be a death sentence. It is, quite literally, the last thing a cat in danger would ever do. So when your domestic cat lies down in the middle of the living room and rolls onto their back, belly up, paws in the air, they are performing the single greatest act of trust available to them. They are saying, "I am completely defenseless right now, and I feel safe enough to show you." That's the message. That's the whole message. The mistake people make is thinking the belly display is an invitation. It's not. It's a statement. Your cat isn't saying, "Touch me here." They're saying, "I trust you enough to show you the part of me that I protect from the entire world." Some cats do enjoy belly rubs, sure, but many don't. And reaching in to touch can feel, to the cat, like a violation of the exact trust they just offered you. Imagine telling someone your deepest secret, and their response is to immediately post it online. The vulnerability was the gift. Respecting it is the answer. I've seen so many people feel rejected when their cat swats their hand away after a belly show, but the truth is the opposite. Your cat just gave you the highest compliment they're capable of giving. The fact that they keep doing it, even after you've reached in and gotten scratched, tells you just how deep that trust runs. Next time your cat shows you their belly, try this. Just look at them. Slow blink. Acknowledge it. Let the moment be what it is. And speaking of slow blinks, that brings us to something science has actually proven is a form of feline communication. And it's simpler and more beautiful than you'd expect. Number 5, slow blinks at you. Have you ever caught your cat looking at you from across the room, and then, very slowly, deliberately, they close their eyes and open them again? It's so subtle you could miss it entirely. But if you've seen it, you've felt it. There's something about that slow, heavy-lidded blink that just lands. It feels warm, it feels intentional, and the reason it feels that way is because it is. In 2020, researchers at the University of Sussex conducted a study that finally confirmed what cat lovers had suspected for centuries. The slow blink is the feline equivalent of a smile. Not just any smile, the genuine kind. The kind psychologists call a Duchenne smile, where the emotion reaches the eyes. When your cat slow blinks at you, they are making a conscious decision to close their eyes, their primary survival tool, in your presence. Think about what that means for an animal whose entire evolutionary history is built on vigilance. Every instinct in their body says, stay alert, keep your eyes open, watch for threats. And your cat looks at you and says, I don't need to watch, not with you. That's voluntary vulnerability. That's the deepest form of I feel safe a cat can express without words. And here's something remarkable. It works both ways. The Sussex study found that when humans slow blinked at cats, the cats were significantly more likely to approach them. You can actually speak this language back. You can tell your cat, I trust you too, in a way they genuinely understand. Try it tonight. Sit with your cat, catch their gaze, and then slowly, softly, close your eyes for just a beat longer than normal. Open them again, and wait. If they blink back, and they very well might, you've just had a real conversation. No words needed. There's something deeply moving about that, isn't there? Two completely different species, sharing a moment of mutual trust through nothing more than the closing of their eyes. But your cat has another way of saying, you're mine. And this one involves something a little less poetic and a lot more wet. Number 6, licks your hands or face. Let's be honest, it's not exactly pleasant. That sandpaper tongue dragging across your knuckles at 6 in the morning isn't what most people would describe as a tender moment. But here's the thing. It is one. When cats live together in bonded groups, colonies, households, families, they engage in something called allo-grooming, mutual grooming. They lick each other's heads, necks, and faces. And this behavior isn't random. Researchers have consistently found that allo-grooming only occurs between cats that share a positive social bond. Cats that tolerate each other but aren't close, they don't groom each other. Cats that are actively hostile? Absolutely not. Grooming is reserved for the inner circle, the ones who matter. So when your cat licks your hand, your face, your arm, your hair at 3 in the morning, they are performing the same ritual they would perform with a trusted feline companion. In their mind, they are caring for you. They are including you in the most intimate social behavior they have. You're not just their owner, you're their grooming partner. And in the world of cats, that means your family. I once read about a man who adopted a feral cat, one that had spent years living on the streets, completely untouched by humans. For months, the cat wouldn't let him come within 3 feet. And then, one night, while the man was sleeping, He woke up to find the cat licking his fingertips, just the tips, gently, carefully, as if testing whether this was allowed. It took that cat months to get there, months of watching, deciding, building trust in the kind of silence only a cat can hold. And when it finally came, the gesture was so small, a few licks on a sleeping hand, that most people would have missed it entirely. But it was everything. And that brings us to the final sign, the one that might be the most powerful of all, because it happens when your cat is at their most defenseless. Number 7, sleeps leaning against you or in the same room. This is the one that says it all. Sleep is the single most vulnerable state any animal can enter. Every defense drops. Every guard comes down. In the wild, where a cat sleeps and who they sleep near is quite literally a life or death decision. A wrong choice means not waking up. So when your cat curls up on your lap, or presses their back against your leg in bed, or even just chooses to sleep in the same room as you, they are making a choice that goes against every survival instinct etched into their DNA. They are choosing you as their safe place. Kristen Vitale's attachment research showed exactly this. Cats use their owners as what psychologists call a secure base, the same term used to describe the relationship between a human infant and their primary caregiver. The person you return to when the world feels uncertain. The person whose presence alone makes everything feel okay. Your cat sleeping beside you is not just comfort. It's not just warmth. It's the definitive, unmistakable proof that in the vast, unpredictable landscape of their world, you are the one place where they feel completely, unconditionally safe. I think about this sometimes late at night, when my cat settles into that little space behind my knees and I can feel her breathing slow down. She doesn't know what a study is. She doesn't know what attachment theory means. She just knows that right here, right now, she can close her eyes. And that's enough. There's something about a sleeping cat that trusts you that no amount of science can fully capture. It just has to be felt. So here's the truth, and it's a simple one. Your cat has been talking to you this whole time, in slow blinks and headbutts and quiet footsteps down the hallway behind you, in every belly exposed and every rough-tongued lick, and every night they chose your side of the bed over anywhere else in the world. They don't say it the way we're used to hearing it, but they say it. If this video helped you see your cat a little more clearly, hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every week for people who actually want to understand the animals they love. And drop a like if any of these signs made you think of your cat. Now I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this? And which of these signs does your cat do the most? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, your stories are my favorite part of doing this.